So now I'm taking my makeup off, which, well, there's not much makeup today, but, well, I just called my dad to say goodnight. I said I wanted to show him on WhatsApp video how the temper bed wedge looks, but he said, well, 10 o'clock's my bedtime, which you know, so now I'm getting ready for bed. And it's good to see it in the daytime, in the daylight. So WhatsApp me tomorrow and show me the bed wedge. Then I told him my plans to make my ugly bedroom look nicer by removing all the piles of clothes, because I won't throw these away. But all these are full. All these are full. But I won't throw these away. Which means the only thing I can do is find space for it. I've got a second bedroom, and I can open up space there. And I told my dad that's what I'm gonna do. And I said, because there are a couple tables and chairs in the second bedroom, which are ugly, which I never use. So Daddy said, well, those unused furnitures cannot hold your clothes, cannot hold your pretty things. I said, yes, that's right. That's true. So, you know, then what to do? And Daddy said, well, looks like you figured it out. So, you know, just gonna call Mr. Lamb, have him throw out the unused furniture, free up a lot of space. I won't throw away my pretty clothes. Those things cannot hold my clothes. Maybe get a couple of shelves or something to stack up the clothes in the other room. Then I will get nicer curtains for this ugly bedroom of mine. Absolutely right. You know, I was watching Lydia Elise Millen's videos on YouTube this morning, and she was talking about her design of her home, and it was so right that the curtains look better in that color. The way it works with the rest of the house. And she just ordered them off like IKEA or something. You can change curtains very easily. I got a guy who does the curtains too. So if I change the curtains, put away the stuff, make everything nicer, then I guess this little apartment is livable for a little while longer, I guess. I have to be very honest, and I'm always honest. When I had a boyfriend, a serious boyfriend in New York, I was very honest with him. He knew that most of my friends back then were from Harvard and had the biggest jobs and had the best backgrounds. Just like me, I met him while I was at MIT for my second degree. And I was one of the top students there. And he knew how well I did taking tests, and how well I did at Goldman Sachs, and that my boss liked me, and, you know, I could move around really quickly, move around groups. He knew everything about how successful I was, and, well, that time I was a really very good girl. I had great habits. We lived with him. He knew it all. He knew my parents had very good investments. He just didn't ever talk to them at all. Never talked about how he planned to have a life with me. And yet he thought to marry me. You know, it's just a silly person with no substance and no seriousness. And friends who literally are thugs, you know. So yeah, so talk like thugs. Some of my friends who some people might consider are closer to black thugs, but really none. I don't have black friends from Harvard who are like thugs. But the black thugs you see out there, are better behaved, better spoken than his friends. Uh, and you've seen it. Went to the wedding, talked to the people, completely unacceptable. Told him to stop doing some very wrong things multiple times. He said he stopped. Nope, still doing it. Um, I just, most unacceptable situation. And that's the only long relationship I've been in my adult life. Mm. And I'm so scared for that to happen again that I always tell people that I want the whole world to help me. I probably need some help when I'm looking for my nice American boyfriend, because I've seen some absolute thugs, scams out there. Nobody ever wants that to happen again. But everybody has got to be honest. 100% honest when they talk about their situation. Because that's how it works. That's how it works not just at Harvard, where I went. I mean, I know now. Well, I mean, I know so many, famous people and artists. And I love to, be a model, and I'm in fashion, I'm in beauty. But I did go to Harvard, There are people in fashion and entertainment who have been to Harvard. I'm not the only one. And, when you are smart, you behave in a proper way. And I want the boy who will chase after me and be my man forever to be a proper American boy. Not just nice American boy, but proper American boy. I mean, I've said so much already in the last few months, but I forgot to say, not just nice American boy, and the last one I had, he's not even nice. But not just a nice American boy, but I want the whole world to help me look for a proper American boy. And although my best guy friend in the world is Matt, it was, always will be, and he's still single. If it doesn't work out between us, then have to look for a boyfriend. And we live in the United States, but we come back to Asia, visit my parents sometimes. I speak Chinese a little bit, not great, but good enough to design houses, good enough to talk to my one parent who speaks Chinese. It could get better. Like, I have my great Chinese teacher I met online, Yuan Xian. Lives in Germany, but is a wonderful Chinese teacher. Things are, everything. Well, actually, now that I was speaking French this afternoon, I just remember maybe I ought to study some French. And I think I'm going to get the French teacher through my Chinese teacher, because she's been teaching me very well, and so I trust her judgment, and I'm going to ask her to find me a French teacher on top of the lessons I will still have with my Chinese one. And then there's, cleaning up the house for the rest of the year. And I really want the neck to get better without any major procedure. And the only way I can do that is to sit at home more. But you know what? The worst part is I have to eat less. But the best part is I don't care. I just say to myself, at midnight, don't eat. And then I don't. I just tell myself, hey, stop eating now. Then I don't. I have good willpower, control. I'm quite okay. You know, I love to party like everyone. You know, I'm really a party girl. Always have been, always will be. But wanting to look like a bikini, wanting to look like a Barbie, um, is such a strong will in me that I never, eat too much. I never drink too much. I never smoke too much, because if you're out of control, then you don't look really hot. And you do have to look really hot at the biggest of the parties. You know, if you want to find really the nicest, most proper American boy, and you hope that he's from Harvard, well then, everything has to fit. So I'm actually pretty good. I'm actually pretty good. I don't mind. I don't mind to always have healthy habits. I mean, most girls are like that. Paris Hilton. Well, I think Paris Hilton party even more than me. I party quite a lot, but not as much as Paris Hilton. And she said she only drinks skim milk and eats a little bit. Nobody wants to lose your control and eat too much or too little or whatever. And also, you want to be with a boy who respects you and talks to you about his stuff. I mean, if you know that the girl in front of you went to Harvard and you don't talk to her about how you feel at work, then you're really losing a resource. You really lose an opportunity to pick your brain with a really smart person. And, again, my one and only example forever is Matt. And Matt and I share our work troubles, our work ambitions to each other completely. What his colleagues know about his behavior at work is entirely the same as what he's shared to me. I know what Matt worries about at work because, well, I studied financial engineering. I was an engineer at MIT. And if you are an options trader, you will know that you are scared of negative gamma. And I'm one of the only girls in the world who can explain to you what that means. I've explained that many times, but basically, if you think, I don't know how to say it in a easy to explain, but negative gamma means that you are holding a bunch of assets where when those assets appreciate in value, when the underlying assets appreciate in value, then the assets which you are holding in derivative format appreciate less per unit of appreciation of the underlying. But in the reverse, you lose money more per unit of loss in the underlying asset's price. So it's not a beneficial, optimal position to hold. And it's explained by convexity or negative convexity, which is the second derivative. The first derivative of a parabola or a slope is the slope of it on a tangent line. It's just calculating the differential. That is the first derivative. But the second derivative of a graph tells you whether it's well, how do you call it? Positively convex, which is that it's like an upward, like a cup you hold upwards, so that when the x-axis goes up, it goes up more, and the y-axis goes to the left, it goes up less. Positive convexity, and the opposite if it's the reverse. I graduated first class from Harvard, even though I studied arts. But after that, I went to MIT. I studied engineering, and I know all of these stuff that literally I can calculate pen on paper. And my boss at Goldman Sachs called Richard McNeil. And my boss at Goldman Sachs at that time called Richard McNeil thought very highly of me, and he still does. He told me that I was at the top, one of the top ranking of other people in my similar rank when I was working at Goldman Sachs. He's a very tall black man. He's very dignified. People think he speaks so eloquently, like a Greek orator. But he's black, and he's from Jamaica, and he always puts on a bow tie before he walks into a client meeting. And everything in my life is 100%. Everything in my life is 100%. Every, thing I've mentioned, every place, people even heard the name of the bank that my dad has done great contributions for, Banque Nationale Paris, BNP, which is the biggest bank in France. And that is why I feel so at home whenever I visit Paris. And, everything I love is still here with me. And it's the pandemic, but my friends, my family, my co-workers are all still alive. We'll be around for a while, and the places we go will be around for a while, and the things we love to buy and the things we love to have, it's all true. Everything's true. It's just 100%. It's all 100%. It's just entirely real. And I miss all my friends from Harvard, the people who I used to eat with every single day, 2-hour dinners. I miss being chased after by many, many boys, because now I still keep very pretty, but no boy can chase me because it's a pandemic and it's lonely. Just think how frustrating that feels. But literally, everything here is 100%. 100% entirely real. And this is all that we know, and we never talk about the things that we didn't know. We don't talk about politics on these videos. We don't talk about Donald Trump and complaining, because we don't know him, so we just don't talk about him. This place is very honest, so, just saying hi to everyone, and also showing off about my life, showing off about my history, and all my friends and my co-workers who I love, who think I'm one of the best at work, and all my teachers in my entire life history, 100%. It's not one thing that said here that's a lie. We know a lot of famous people too, but also pretty simple life sometimes. Look at my bathroom. I have so many products. I haven't organized it. Everything's real. Everything's real. And if that's why everything is, we couldn't be prouder. But I don't want to say that because I'm not proud. Actually, I'm not proud. And I'll tell you what's my favorite comfort zone. My favorite comfort zone is when I'm in New York and I'm with a bunch of black girls who graduated from Harvard or like Stanford Law, kind of like, a dinner table with a Rita, Claudia, Courtney. These are my Dervla, my black girlfriends from Eliot House at Harvard. All real. Everybody's still here. A bunch of these people, black girls who are really smart, and they are independent, so they have big jobs in big companies. They make their own money. They spend a lot of money because they make a lot, but they are independent and they have a big apartment all to themselves in New York. And it's a black woman, and she's proud, she's cool, but she went to Harvard and she thinks like everybody like us. And and maybe she has a husband, but not as successful as her. Maybe just some random black guy, kind of stupid, and she supports him. Or it's like a really cute white guy or a black guy who's just as successful. That kind of thing. And really honest, the way I feel. Really honest, gets to the point, and feels really comfortable, around a girl like me. And that's my comfort zone. And when we get to this point, of course, we have to talk about our friend Rita, also with us, class of 2002, my blockmate in Eliot House at Harvard, and we all still mourn her loss. I do, actually, pretty much almost every day. Rita Magnuson. Okay, these are all real. And she passed away when I was away from her. And my other blockmate, same place, Jessie Curian, also friends with Matt. Just, me, Rita, Matt, Will, all of us. Jessie told me on email about Rita's passing. And so life is really real. It might look pretty, but it's also full of loss and grief. But it's all real. You cannot say that anything is unreal. You might be jealous of the reality. But why should you be jealous? It's not all perfect. It's filled with grief. It's filled with all these communities, this big community of people where we all loved each other. We all know each other very, very well. And it's just a story about me and my life and my history and those who were close to me, and it's full of grief. It's full of, what it takes to be up there with people like us, Yeah, my friends and I, we go to the best parties, and maybe, you don't get invited to places like these. You don't get to hang out with people like us. You don't get invited to these types of parties. Maybe you can't mix and talk this way. You don't get invited to these types of parties. You might get invited once, but you can't be American enough to get invited again and again to our parties. But then you take a look and you see what it takes to be like us. What it takes to be at our parties all the time. The types of people we are. How much pain, suffering, grief we all have. How messy our lives actually are. How hard we all work. Even how hard we all work to care for our friends. The deepest kind of love. With the most charming style of conversation. And it's not just me keeping my perfect body and my parents, booking out the Tokyo Palace in Paris for me. No, it's not that easy. It's a lot of hard work. We really put in the work. I put in the work to care for my friends. We're all really, really close. Some of our friends are really famous people, and that's because we really care. And it's the American way to make friends. It's the American way. And it's so American and it's so real, but it's really sad. It's really sad. And it's always looked this sad. And people like us who look so sad, we never look at you. And it's not because we dislike these, there's no hate. It's just that there's so much love for those we do look at. And so, the pandemic is unfortunate, but people who are unfortunate also have friends who look at each other. So, for example, I'm feeling really sad right now and I'm alone. But I've got all the people who love me, who look after me. And we look at each other, and when we look at each other, and it's not that we don't bother to look at other people, and we're proud and we're rude, and we just walk, we just pass you by. We're not trying to scare people. We don't want you to run away when you see us standing there. People are just being themselves. But being in America is a privilege. And being American is such a great privilege. And it's about being social, it's about being cool, but it's also most of all being caring. And you have to be charming to someone for that person to look at you. You have to be charming to someone for that person to look at you. And then when that person looks at you, you don't run away in fear. You look back at that person, and you start dialogue. And the dialogue has to be charming because it has to be full of honesty. But your honesty has to be out of goodness. And you know how to care. With a great mind, that you remember what your friends say, and that you have a heart and you can think through your friends' problems and then help your friends work things out. It's about being smart, but also about being so kind, and not being afraid when people walk up to you. That's the American way. But I live in Asia, and I have a bunch of good Asian friends, and I feel ashamed because everybody here looks like an Asian, and I don't look like an Asian. But I don't mind. Asian people like me. Plenty of Asian people talk to me in the Asian language, and we all get by, and so in my circle, and all the people I care for, and all the people I look up to, like Paris Hilton, or even Dakota Johnson, it doesn't matter who you are, or just the people on YouTube, the British girls who I look at. It doesn't matter how it looks. Life is filled with so much pain, so much grief. And I don't think anybody would wish to be me. But, it's being an American is a privilege, but it comes with so much grief. It comes with so much grief. Death, death of people who you see almost every day, death of people who you lived with, and you see them 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, and it's all real. Literally, all these people exist. They are all real, and all these people are real, and all the things they own are real, and it's all their stuff, and these are all their friends, and their names are all confirmed, and the histories go back on up to 100 years, and there's just nothing you can refute about it. And if you were not in this history, there's no way you can lie your way into this. It's just a life history, of a pretty sad person. But with a lot of close friends, family, and fans who really, really love me. One thing, though, is that no matter what kind of boy I've dated, they don't talk rudely in front of me. They might talk rudely with other people at work, on the phone with friends or whatever, but talking to me, boys are always very sweet, very behaved, very polite. And if it gets a little bit off, like they start talking about something they shouldn't, or they start thinking things they shouldn't, or they're behaving in a way that he shouldn't, well, then at some point it's over. Well, I think anybody worth having is high maintenance. That's of course. But the thing is, I want a boy who's high maintenance. What I mean by that is that I want a boy with standards as high as mine. I want to be with a boy who's high maintenance. So he wants a girl who's really pretty, the face and the body. Would like it that she went to Harvard and that I studied art at Harvard. But then I also did a couple years of business, and I went to business school. And I only work for my parents, which means I don't work much, and only sometimes in beauty and fashion. Love beautiful things. Go to the shows. Fashion shows, charities. Talks very nicely. Works well at the parties. Can sell nice things to people if I want to sometimes, but only helping mommy and daddy. And I'm very happy, and one day if we need to work, then I'm well educated, and also that I never ever cheated on any boy in my life. And I want a boy who's really high maintenance, who wants all those things about a girl, and that the girl is a good girl like me, meaning I won't cheat on the boy ever, because I never did. I am a party girl, and I look really pretty, but I'm a really nice girl. I have good standards, good education, and I treat the boy really, really properly. So I want a high maintenance boy, and that's what I mean by high maintenance. And a boy I can talk to every day. I get home, or he gets home at the end of the day, and I tell him, I complain about the problems of today. And it's more complaints than good things, because life is life. Like for people like us, it's full of pain, full of trouble, full of big wars against people. And it's sad, and he has to love hearing about it and then talking to me about it. And it might be the same complaint every single day. It's the same pain that I feel that won't go away. And my mommy and daddy are getting old, so one day I can't just call home every day anymore and talk to them about it. And it has to be like that. And Matt is so interested. He doesn't talk about himself as often as he loves to listen to the other person. If you're having a conversation with Matt just casually at a party and he's meeting someone new, he really cares to know about how you're doing. Unless, he's having a personal conversation with me and he wants me to know how he is, how he's doing, how things are at work, how things are, with Will in the apartment, what he's up to, how his family is. We all know. Other than that, when I'm talking about my daily, everyday things, he's just listening. Good guy, listening, he's smiling, and then, oh, really? Now ask some questions, and he loves to listen. Loves to listen to all your daily problems, loves to listen to, oh, I have a fight with the shopkeeper, I have a fight with my co-worker, and it's the same fight, and it's going on every day. Never happened to me, but let's say it's like that, and, Matt loves to listen to it. It never annoys him. He won't get bored of it. He'll listen, and he'll give you his straight-headed advice. And that's what you call really a perfect knight in shining armor, like a Mr. Knightley in Emma, like Josh in Clueless. This, that's what love is about. And you stay together forever, and you love I love no other man. I don't think about any other man in any way similar. I don't talk to another man as like a close friend. And the same with him about the girl. And that's how every good American couple, man to woman, is. That's American. And that's why the boy I fall in love with will be a nice, proper American boy. Because in the American way, a good good couple is like this. Well, I guess nowadays it could be a man and man, woman and a woman. In my case, I'm heterosexual. I really like boys. In the one serious relationship I had, that was with Shen, I had sex with him often. He felt I was easy to go to bed with, but he was completely aware of my good background, my education, how well I do at work, and how perfect all my friends are in all their jobs, professions. He saw it all. So I was very honest with him, but he had all the problems that I had discussed. And I don't think anybody would ever say that Shen is that kind of guy who, like Matt, like me, we never skip a beat. We never miss a beat. Shen's not like that. Shen will miss the beats, he'll skip the beats, he'll sort of do things in a sloppy way. You can tell from the way he plays the violin. I wonder how people felt about him in orchestra. I'm not an orchestra member. I only perform with orchestras as a piano soloist, but I'm at world-class level, different I don't know if he's actually really a violinist, but I heard him play. It's very sloppy. So he is definitely, and the way he thinks, walks, talks, the types of things the stupid things he worries about, which he shouldn't waste time worrying about, and the thugs who he wastes time talking to, everything about him, sloppy. He doesn't want to eat healthy, never worked out, sloppy. He's not the person who never misses a beat. he is the type of sloppy person who skips the beat. That's all the accurate truth. I never skip a beat. The way I play piano, like Matt, like the people at Harvard who are not ranked third class, fourth class, but first class. You know, there's a big difference. It's a big school. So yeah, that's you know, a lot of real things that we've mentioned. You know, as we did mention a few minutes ago, in the prior videos I posted today. But so life is, life is great, but life is really sad, for all my, close friends, family who I still keep in touch with, and all the fans who love me. It's not perfect. It's like messy. It's really, really sad. And there are people who died, but we all feel so close to each other. And there's so much history, so many stories. And there are a couple people out there who I haven't met yet. I'd love to. I would love to meet Paris Hilton. I wonder if, what sort of things trouble her mind, what she suffers. I'm just talking off the top of my head, anybody can post a video and say these things. Nothing special. And everything here that has been said is real. Real names, real people, real history. Really, this is my history. It goes back 100 years, and everybody here is real. And my life is really sad. But that is why it's so happy. So I think I'm going to end for the day. Maybe have a glass of wine. I don't know. I don't want to pick up bad habits during the pandemic. So,